The sin was paid for. The guilt was taken away. Now, do you see the implications of that for us? I want to touch on just a couple of them here. Jesus bears away our sin once and for all. Jesus is the way to deal with guilt. He's the way to deal with our shame and our failure. Right? Think of all those people posting their confessions online, trying to deal with it, trying to find someone to get this off their chest. Jesus is the one who serves as your priest so that when you look to Him, when you confess to Him, He takes it away once and for all. It's gone. Everything you've ever done, everything you do, everything you will do is forever and permanently removed. The lying, the greed, the selfishness, the pride, the arrogance, the critical attitude, the lust, your thoughts, your words, your actions, everything is put on Jesus and forever taken away. And payment has been made. The offering has been given. There's this moment in Leviticus chapter 9. And we read that finally the priests have been ordained. Finally they're ready to serve, and they go into the tent of meeting. And in Leviticus 9 verse 23, we read that Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting. They're serving now as priests, and when they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. And fire came out and consumed the offerings. The Lord received the offerings, and when the people saw it, they shouted for joy, and they fell face down. You see, this is what happens when the priest was doing his work properly. The favor of the Lord came upon the people. The Lord smiled upon His people. He received the offering and smiled upon His people. How much more with Jesus? He has received the offering of, God has received the offering of Jesus, and now because of that, the Lord smiles upon you. The Lord shows His favor towards you. The Lord delights in you. And that's cause for rejoicing, isn't it? That's cause for great joy. And here's what else. As a priest, and I mentioned this with the kids this morning, as the priest, Jesus represents you in prayer. Ever had those times you don't know how to pray? Ever those times you don't even know what to ask for? Or maybe it's because you're going through a time of grief and sadness and you just can't pray. You know what? God doesn't look down at you and say, I'm so tired of your laziness. Get your act together. Don't you see? You need to come to church and start praying. No. Jesus looks on you and says, I will pray for you. I will pray for the very things that you need, that you don't even know that you need. And I will pray for things that you need and you don't know how to ask for them. Jesus is perfecting our prayers and our worship. And that leads me to one last thing. Jesus perfects our worship together as a church. Leviticus 8 is about how the people come to God in worship. And they needed a priest to make that possible. They needed a priest to perfect the worship of the people. The same is true for us today. When we come together here as a body, there's a sense in which we are coming before the presence of God, and it ought to be something that leaves us in awe and wonder. And I guess I want to just ask that of you. Just when we sing or pray, are we doing that with an awareness that we are before an awesome God? I know sometimes worship can feel a little bit like something we just have to do. And I know if you're a kid here this morning, you probably feel that way a lot. But what I want you to know, especially if you're one of the younger sort here, is when we get together, God meets us here, and God is a pretty awesome God. And we have the chance to sing to Him and praise Him and pray to Him and listen.